Okay, we're doing it this style again because I still can't use microphones with my computer, but we are playing Karnage Chronicles. Bum bum bum. I'm actually really happy with how it recorded, so at least we've got that part working, right? Karnage Chronicles is a dungeon crawler type game, very colorful as you can see. Plays very similarly to Vanishing Realms, a game that I've covered probably, I think, more than once on this show before, because that's sort of the gold standard of VR dungeon crawlers. This one makes its difference by having classes and by being a lot more colorful and cartoony than Vanishing Realms. I guess Vanishing Realms is pretty cartoony, but more colorful, certainly. There were lots of patch notes that for some reason I thought I had to read. And then it's time for tutorial, and for Nordic Trolls, which might be the developer, and a book. Because that's what I like in VR, books. Now, I'm sure that just leads you to the different levels and everything. Oh yeah, before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TVGB ViveStream. My name is Jake Sapir. I'm one of the editors over at thatvideogameblog.com, and I'm here to show you the best and worst the Vive has to offer. Sorry about the delay on that. I'm not used to doing videos this way. But, you know, you work with what you got. I decided to start with the tutorial because, you know, I've never played this game before. There were let me try that again. There were a lot of long loading times with this game, as is typical for any big VR game. But, I mean, man, there are some seriously long loading times. Here we go. So this was the tutorial. It's a pretty straightforward tutorial. You teleport using the touchpad like in so many other VR games. Grab things with the triggers. You know, I honestly probably could have figured most of this out without a tutorial, but it was my first time playing the game, so I had to give it a go. Alright, so yeah, teleporting works like how you'd expect it to. I don't know why I then pressed the button to watch the tutorial video like I didn't already do the thing that it was trying to teach me how to do. But, you know, I was curious. I was curious what would show up. So, yeah. Grabbing things, that's also pretty straightforward. Yeah, sorry, I wish I had more to say right now, but this is a pretty basic tutorial. Thank you for telling me that I should pull a lever. I couldn't have guessed that.
Try pulling the lever by pressing the trigger button now.
Alright.
Well done.
And door opens. No loading screen for that one, at least. So that's something. Yeah, you know, if I recorded the footage with this type of video in mind, I probably would be more prepared to talk about it. But in this case, I was trying to actually record in real time using my phone at my feet while I was playing, which ended up being just a terrible idea. I might try something like that again later on if I have someone with me to actually hold the phone, or if I can put it up like on a stand or something, but until then I'm going to stick with this style of video. Yes, so they start you off with a bow, because it's a VR game, and that's the joke. It works like any other VR bow. You don't have to worry about arrows, which is nice. They load automatically, you don't have to worry about limiting them, you don't have to pull them off your back. So not as realistic as the game we played last time, but, you know, it's not meant to be. It's a fantasy game. The Archer class also has daggers, which is pretty cool. You know, swinging them around is very satisfying, even against a dummy. The dummy actually moves well based on how you hit it, which is nice. Usually it's not satisfying at all. You can switch weapons back and forth, which is cool. But if you've seen me play these games before, you know I'm not big on the archery. And if you haven't seen me play these games before, welcome to the ViveStream. I'm glad you could join us. I was worried I was going to have to fight that guy all of a sudden, but nope, he just ran through the portal like a pussy. Well, I say that, but as you'll see later, I get killed by one of those things eventually. So I'm not one to talk. There's a lot of stuff they throw at you at the menu here. Choose your class. Again, archers are nice and all, but I'm more the warrior sort. Plus, I mean, get a look at that shield. You'll get a closer look in a bit. The badass shield. Reminds me of the Mortal Kombat logo a little bit. I thought I could teleport over there maybe, but the answer was no. No, I could not. The warrior class also has this cool wind-up crossbow, magical crossbow, which is pretty neat. It doesn't have the range of the regular bow, obviously, but, you know, the winding up is fun and works surprisingly well. It's very smooth. A lot of wind-up related stuff in VR tends to be glitchy, but that one worked quite well. Over here there were some signs I did not really feel like reading. You can feel free to pause and try to make them out if you want. What else we got? Oh yeah, some weapons you can buy, much like in Vanishing Realms. Though at the very least in this one, the stuff you start out with already looks pretty cool. So that's nice. It took me a little while to figure out where the heck I was supposed to go. Oh yeah, thing change the difficulty level. I stuck with easy. This is a show. I wasn't trying to show off. And as you can see, I still had trouble because, as you might have recognized in the last episode, or really any episode of the show at all, I'm not very good at most video games. So, with that in mind, I went into the first level. With more loading times, of course. I mean, it's VR. And my computer can barely run this stuff, as we've discussed at length, so loading times are the least of my worries, really. So I saw that guy over there. He did not see me at all. The enemies are a little stupid sometimes in this game, for better or worse. This thing started playing some story narration that I did not care about. It was really complex and long and confusing and just not necessary. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like that there is story, but if you're going to tell story, start with who I am and why I'm here. That would be my recommendation. Yeah, the enemies really get up close in your face. Since the setup I was using only had teleportation controls, there was no easy way for me to step back, especially because I was trying to avoid stepping on my phone, which, as I mentioned, was on the floor. Because for some reason I thought that would work. We got a step-on panel here, much like you'd see in a Zelda game, which is not a bad comparison. And then an archer. Now I got my shield, and my shield can block these bolts, but I mean, honestly, it's an archer. Just get up close and there's nothing much they can do. You can break pots. That was one of the patch notes I had read. There's nothing in the pots yet, but you know, this was an early version of the game. I do believe a later update has been released, and maybe that actually puts things of worth inside those pots. Who knows? I mean, in the early days, Vanishing Realms didn't do that either. Moving around. So there's an archer over there, as you can see on top of that ledge, and now begins the longest and most boring battle you've ever seen. I'm trying to hide, charge up my crossbow, and fire at him, but my aim is terrible and his isn't great either. Well, his aim is fine, his timing is terrible. He keeps hitting me, trying to hit me while I'm hiding. But yeah, crossbow doesn't shoot very far, and the hitboxes are really precise. I was motioning that I discovered that those lights determine, you know, how charged up it is. Alright, I got one good hit. Now watch how long it takes for me to get another one. Nope. Nope. This goes on for some time. Not gonna lie. I'm really bad at aiming. See, like, that one looked like it should have hit, but it did not. There. That one also looked like it should have hit, but did not. You're starting to see the pattern that I would eventually see when recording this, which is that I was just too far away to hit it with this crossbow. At least, you know, reliably. Someone with better aim probably could, but me, no, not so much. That one was just a terrible shot, and I'm already embarrassed about it. Yep. For some reason I kept going. You know, I don't know at what point I realized, hey, maybe I should move. Oh, about this point. And I still couldn't aim properly. Then this asshole came up, and I had to start dealing with him. Fortunately, these guys are for the most part pretty easy. If one of them kills you, it's either an archer that you don't see, or someone who's, you know, getting benefit from you being distracted by something else, which, as we'll see in a moment, happens, because this is just the first section. There are more enemies than just these guys. Oh yeah, the arrows stick to you. You gotta either slash them off or pull them off. Otherwise they'll be in the way. So eventually I just decided, you know, screw defense. I'm just gonna get right up in his grill and let him kill me so that I can hopefully get one last freaking shot on him. And did I get that one last freaking shot on him? Nope, not yet. Hitboxes are too small for these things. There we go, finally. Now that I'm done with that, I can fight another one and collect some coins. Because everyone loves gold in a fantasy game, right? Yep. Stabby stabby. Like I said, by themselves, these guys aren't tough. Found some hidden gold there, or silver, or whatever. Basically money. People like collecting money in games. And in real life, for that matter. Except for me, you know, I don't actually get paid for this, but shh, don't tell anyone. Oh yes, more archers, exactly what I needed. I was like, oh, I have a good hiding place. Oh wait, no, there's a guy here too. So meanwhile, while I'm fighting him, the archer is having amazing aim and shooting me between the gap there. I guess my hitbox is bigger. And I tried to use the crossbow again, and I actually hit him on the first try this time, which is cool. And then the second time, I hit him again. To be fair, a lot closer to me this time. I didn't have to aim quite so far, which makes a big difference. Yeah, this part was me trying to, you know, look at the different control methods, but I mostly just confused myself. So, you know, that's fun. Again, stayed on this, what was I gonna say? Stayed on that screen for a little too long. Then I found this quote-unquote puzzle, which was a pretty cool sign of things to come, even though it was pretty basic. Obviously I had to, yeah, hit that thing with the light. So swap to my hands, give it a pull. Also, just, you know, cool gauntlets. I'm glad they didn't try to do like actual human hands. For one thing, you know, it probably wouldn't look as good, and for another, you can pretend that you're not a human. Maybe you're one of those goblin things fighting the other goblin things. It probably wouldn't make sense given the height difference, but hey, you know, imagination is a wonderful thing, and it's virtual reality where you can supposedly do whatever you want. Yay. Yay, oh, and doggies. Mean doggies. Mean, but again, by itself, not a very hard to kill doggy. I almost feel bad, they're almost cute. Almost. Definitely the almost is important there. Yep. It's one of those videos. You're getting chill Jake today. Yeah, see, two doggies, that's a little more difficult to deal with. But I survived. And I was about to go grab those gems and everything. And then I got stuck on that menu again, and then I got stuck on the other menu again. And by the time I got ready to take those gems, another goblin thing came up to attack me. And I got through him. Oh, no, I did not get through him, okay. Apparently my shield does not have that big a hitbox. So you don't revive automatically, you have to grab this thing to do so, as I was trying to figure out. Then you go back to the last stone step platform thing. That guy was running off somewhere in a real hurry, but it didn't help him much. However, him and the doggy, that was a little more difficult. And then more doggies. Again, these enemies really like to get right up in your grill. If I could have figured it out without getting attacked, I would have found a control scheme to let me back up using the touchpad. And then this guy came at me. But again, he's just one goblin thing, so not too hard to beat. Yeah, sorry about that. I got distracted for a second. Where were we? Oh yes, fighting dog things while archers are shooting flame arrows at me. I can't deal with both, and while I was looking over there, I finally discovered that this dude was waiting for me. Tried to duck to block, which is, you know, effective to a point, but can only do so much for you, especially if you're not willing to actually, like, duck. I was just sort of crouching. But if I laid flat, I would have been okay. Except I had two archers coming at me from two different angles. And by the end, I tried to just go after those guys in melee, but as you can see, that went about as well as anything else that I tried to do. Yeah. Well, that was something. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, everybody. I will hopefully will have a more traditional episode of the ViveStream or Black Hole for you next time, but who knows with this random computer shit. I'll do my best. As always, you can find more content over at thatvideogameblog.com, and, well, whether you like it or not, I shall leave you to the sounds of me taking off the headset and ending the video recording at the very least. The audio recording, I'm ending right now.